What is happening, Magnus sites? I saw some clips from this on Twitter as I was scrolling, and you could really see the mental illness on display here. I was just like, what is going on? So let's check this out here. See if I can get some more info on this.
The Democrat machine's been smashed to pieces, and they don't have a mechanic with the tools to fix it. Nobody watches liberal media. Lawfare's dead. All the hoaxes have been debunked. Cancel culture's canceled, and the left can't censor you.
We are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress.
Democrats lost their weapons. Their protests are lame. The only one getting giddy is Maddow.
At a Tesla dealership showroom thing in Manhattan. Sort of a big crowd turned out there with very good signage. This is a pretty good one. Bad Doge.
Bad Doge. Like bad doggy.
Why do we say Doge, right? Like, why are we playing along with the joke and their framing of it? There's just as much of a case that we should be calling it dog eat.
Schumer told us Democrats were getting aroused.
You see his face.
But it turns out people are pissed. The top brass at the party's mad at liberal groups that keep calling congressional offices, telling them to fight harder. One Democrat answered the phone and said, just call the Republicans, please. Democrats have given up until the midterms, but Morning Joe isn't buying it.
I'm a bit frustrated when I hear about how helpless Democrats are because they're in the minority in the Senate, because they're in the minority in the House. I keep hearing about how the poor Democrats are so helpless, they can't do anything. No, they're elected, and they're elected to do just this. The minority in the United States Senate always has power.
Schumer could cook up to fight Trump was a deep state snitch line where people were supposed to rat on Republicans, but it backfired. Chuck's been flooded with reports of insider trading, relationships with Chinese spies, and complaints about Fauci. Oops. No one's listening to Democrat leaders, so they're calling in their kids for backup. Tim Walz's daughter's on the front lines.
Signing an executive order that pertains to 1%.
I lovingly call him Tampon Tim.
Of the population is not protecting women, and it's loser behavior. I have never felt unsafe around a trans person. I have felt unsafe around men.
Wait.
So maybe let's deal with that.
Wait. Who's not protecting women?
No one's listening to Democrat leaders.
I know you're not
so they're
saying.
Calling in their kids for backup. Tim Walz's daughter's on the front lines.
Signing an executive order that pertains to 1% of the population is not protecting women, and it's loser behavior.
Oh my God.
I have never felt unsafe around a trans person.
Loser behavior.
I have felt unsafe around men. So maybe let's deal with that.
You feel unsafe?
She must have ignored all the women that have been talking about seeing men in the bathroom. She must have ignored all of that. She must have ignored all the people's complaints about women getting knocked out cold, beat up, having their records destroyed, having scholarships taken from the medals taken. God, come on. What's she talking about?
Around men, that's why Trump's keeping them out of your locker room. He's going to...
See, at least be fair. I always tell you guys, everyone is biased. Everyone has their biases. But are you fair? You can believe one thing and feel a certain way about a particular subject, but as long as you can be fair, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might not like people that are furries, okay? But a furry walks in to your restaurant and wants to eat. You're like, okay, I think this is insane, but they're cordial. They even took their helmet off. They took the head of the dog off and they're willing to sit down cordially and eat. This isn't a suit and tie restaurant. Sure. See, that's being fair. You might not like it, but it's fair. Now, what would be unfair is if you don't really have a dress code for your restaurant and they come in and you're like, get out of here. You can't be in here dressed so ridiculously. No. Now, you have that right. But I don't think that that's fair. If they're cordial, they're nice, their money's green, just like my money's green, sure, let them sit down and eat. You know what I mean?
To protect you, whether you like it or not. But there's a small feisty group of people that want to change that. Worcester, Massachusetts held a vote on whether it should become a transgender sanctuary city.
Normally I would say good evening, but through the chair I will only impart my sour grapes. My name in drag is Dee Dee Delight. And my name is
Sour grapes.
Pastor Julie from Britain. I use the pronoun she and her, and I am disabled cisgender lesbian.
I speak as...
She said she was a pastor? The Bible. Okay, never mind. I know what the Bible says. They know what the Bible says. Never mind.
both the B and the T in the LGBT. I speak as someone who is always misgendered, like all the time. People refer to...
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Now listen. See? Now listen. If you're transgender and you're being fair, okay, about a situation, if you're attempting to present as a woman, but you are extremely masculine still, being fair is you're not going to get angry at people that quote unquote misgender you. You get what I'm saying? Like, kind of reminds me of, I'm trying to think of a certain situation in normal life where, okay, so a lot of time kids that are mixed race, they get mistaken sometimes for one race or another or something that they're absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, Scarlo has a sister that looks Asian. She's Puerto Rican though, but she does look Asian. Like, you know, you think she's Chinese or something, and she gets mistaken all the time in public by Asians. They'll come up to her and start speaking something. She's like, no, I don't, you know what I'm saying? But she's not getting mad at them. She knows how she looks. Get it? Read the room.
Me as sir when I prefer to be referred to as ma'am.
That's the new face of the resistance. The golden age put him in a dark place.
I'm shaking right now. I don't want to be here. I'm sorry, am I taking too long pleading for my life?
I need the city to protect me because the federal government won't. And if you think you're afraid of Trump, you should see how afraid of Trump I am.
This person just said they're in drag. That's a very good female voice.
Better prepare for
I gotta say, that's a very
to
good
make
female
this
voice.
a very unsafe space.
I do not want to be here. It's my day off. I don't want to spend an hour applying glitter on my face so that you will hear and see me.
Is that supposed to be shading to create a jawline, kind of like a cheekbone thing? I don't know.
Get me
I got questions.
Many of my friends need to die before you do anything.
Please wrap
Look
up.
at me.
Okay, we're all done here.
Pathetic.
We're all done. Come on.
And it wouldn't be a drag show without a musical number.
Oh no. What happened?
Oh my gosh. All Democrats know how to do is swear, sue, and sing.
Oh.
Worcester saw all that and sided with the drag squad. It's now a trans sanctuary city. But that's not...
You know, I don't advocate any mistreatment of any trans people or any violence toward them or any bigotry at all, okay? My question is, why are they not getting... Here's the thing. When you have a group of people that is fighting forever for, you know, whatever rights or whatever they think is correct or their way of life, whatever it is, you usually get the best spoken and presenting people to speak for you. That's how that works, so that your words don't fall on deaf ears, so people don't think that you're crazy, so people don't think that, so people don't dismiss you. So, it's all in presentation and how you, and the way they're doing it, they're not getting people to listen or to take them seriously because it's on full display. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's two trans people that I watch on here. I forgot, one's a trans man, one's a trans woman. Blair White. I can't remember the trans man. They're both extremely level-headed. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, other than them being trans, everything that they say and comes out of their mouth sounds totally valid. You don't dismiss it as insanity or anything like that. It's funny too, because there's a gay dude that I watch. He's a light skin with long curly hair. He looks like he could either be mixed, but I think he's actually Hispanic, which, a lot of them are mixed anyway. Yeah. So, but he has very level-headed views also on things that are going on in the LGBTQ community. See, if you have people like that speaking for you, people would take you more seriously. But y'all look like y'all just chose anybody. It'd be like if, I was going to a movement for black people, but I got my Uncle Rollo to speak for us. All right, so what I'm saying is, what I want from y'all is, I want the respect, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get the dude that, look, your rights are totally, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what it is, whether it's men, women, different races, different ethnicities speaking for themselves, you don't get the ones that don't speak the best for you to represent you at these meetings. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're shooting themselves in the foot like this.
Not going to stop Trump from penetrating the city lines. If illegals can't hide...
He said penetrate.
...hide from home and in Chicago, men can't sneak into girls' bathrooms in Massachusetts. This is a desperate play. We're less than a month into Trump's presidency, and they're making new sanctuary cities and calling for reparations.
Our government, no matter...
Heard that sneeze in here, babe. You're starting to show your age.
...who is empowered to right these wrongs, to provide reparations for descendants of enslaved Africans, the racial wealth gap, to uplift the black community. White supremacy...
Here's my views on reparations. I've not looked into the history of reparations. I've only looked into a couple of things. I've listened to several people talk about it, but I do not know the true history of reparations and the idea of where it came from. Now, it was my thought growing up that reparations was a thing that was, okay, you'll always see or hear black people say, I want my 40 acres and a mule. So growing up when I was younger, I always thought, and when people talked about reparations, it was the thought that black people were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule, like free slaves were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule to restart their lives. And reparations was a way of giving the 40 acres and a mule to black people who are descendants of slaves that did not get their 40 acres and a mule. You get that? That was my understanding. I do not know the true history of it, so I'm going to look into it more. I was looking into the whole 40 acres and a mule thing at one point, and I saw something saying that we actually weren't guaranteed their 40 acres and a mule, or that's just what people think. So I'm not sure yet. I'm not done, okay? But here is my thoughts on reparations. If indeed our ancestors were supposed to get some form of reparations, but like a lot of instances in history, people were do something and it was never given to them, then things may have been done right or corrected later. Then yes, if they were supposed to give some form of reparations to our ancestors, okay, then their bloodlines should get it. Those are my thoughts on it, period. If black folk never get reparations, I will be fine. I've become successful. But if we do, I will take that money and I will invest it properly. Okay? Maybe I will buy 40 acres and a mule just cuz. You know what I'm saying?
Is rampant in this country. Just look at the current administration.
Black excellence scares Donald Trump. It scares Stephen Miller. And it scares Elon Musk. Because you know what? Deep down, they recognize their own mediocrity.
While Democrats are complaining, Trump's working around the clock. He held a press conference at 10 o'clock at night to welcome home Mark Fogel, an American hostage he promised to free during the campaign. Fogel was arrested by Russia in 2021 and then detained for 3 years. Biden couldn't get him out, but Trump brought him home in less than a month. Fogel sung Trump's praises while holding a can of beer from his home.
Let's not even talk about that insanity of them releasing that arms dealer in exchange for Britney. Oh my God.
The state of PA.
I feel like the luckiest man on earth right now. And
He's about to cry.
I want you to know that I am not a hero in this at all. And President Trump is a hero.
A second American prisoner was just released from Belarus earlier today. Trump's motor won't stop running. Even his own family's impressed.
Grandpa hardly sleeps.
Yeah, he's a whole different animal. Like, I mean, during the end of the campaign, when I watched a 78-year-old man do 2 all-nighters in a row, and then I'm dying.
It's like Vince McMahon. I was listening to was it Scott Hall and Kevin Nash? I think they were on a podcast, and I'm gonna do my best. Scott Hall. He was like, I don't know if you know this about Vince, but Vince is a cyborg. He doesn't sleep. So that's my best Scott Hall. That's my best. I don't know if I say Kevin Nash or Scott Hall, but that's my best Scott Hall for now. And I've heard several other people say it. They're like, dude, don't sleep, man. Like, he'll run the show all day, traveling, making phone calls, meeting with talent, doing this and that. And like, he'll, after the show, he goes to a gym, meets with a personal trainer, works out, then he'll eat, then he might sleep a couple of hours, he's back up again. I'm like, man, that is your work. And stuff like that keeps people alive. You get what I'm saying? But working that hard also takes some people out. So there's got to be a balance, but it's worked for him this long. I mean, I think he's been more successful than not, and I don't know what's going on with this, investigation. But I tell you this, I definitely admire his work ethic. And I wonder if The Rock got his work ethic from him, because Stone Cold Steve Austin said, the bigger you get, the closer you get to the old man. So I got obviously getting close to Vince, and they were running me kind of. I'm about to go into a whole thing. But, yeah, because The Rock's known for working all type of insane hours, so.
Plane coming back, and he puts on music, and he's doing, like, Trump DJ night. I'm like, I just want to go to bed. The guy, after 2 all-nighters, goes right on, like, national television, like, morning shows, like, where it matters.
It's crazy for, like, what he does. And
See, I know how I am, and I know the type of hours that I've put in before, and I've put in insane hours. When I was in corporate America, and I need my sleep. I cherish my sleep, and I don't sleep with an alarm clock. I don't use one, so I get up when I get up. So no matter how late I'm up, I could be up to 3 a.m. If I sleep till 12 or 1, that's what my body wanted and needed. So I'm as healthy as I can possibly be. That's how I do it.
His age, I think it's crazy.
Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is a former White House press secretary. How are you, Governor?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Do you have any trans sanctuary cities in Arkansas?
We most certainly don't. And all that I see when I'm watching these desperate political stunts is a reminder of how thankful I am that Donald Trump is in the White House. Honestly, it is sad and laughable what is taking place, and just shows how out of touch the woke left really is. After losing so badly in November, you would think that they might try to change tactics, change courses, but they don't. While they're having these ridiculous displays, Donald Trump is literally freeing hostages and welcoming them into the White House. What a contrast, what a difference of what real leadership looks like. And I'm thankful that we have Donald Trump back there fighting for all of us.
If freeing hostages is not a Republican or Democrat issue, neither is cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. Why do you think, Governor, the Democrats are moving radical left? They just got whacked in November, and now we're hearing about reparations, trans sanctuary cities, and God knows what else.
I'm honestly almost at a loss for words. It's truly baffling to see that they don't understand where the American public is. Donald Trump won an overwhelming victory because people wanted something different. They wanted somebody who would actually secure our borders instead of opening them up wide. They wanted somebody who would be
Y'all hear that? Sound like a UFO hovering above them.
respected across the globe. They wanted somebody who would bring our people back home, bring law and order to our country, and get rid of the absolute waste. America's $36 trillion in debt. We should be looking at all of the waste and the fraud. The president is spot on to go after all of these insane programs, get rid of them, and make sure we're actually using taxpayer money wisely. He has not stopped since the day he stepped into office, and I don't think he's going to over the next 4 years. I think that the Democrats are terrified at what all he's going to find. Maybe they're using this as a distraction. It's really the only thing I can think of that makes sense why they're continuing down this road.
Yeah, they definitely are acting guilty, like they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Real quick, because we got to go. What is the one thing you notice differently about Donald Trump in the second term?
Look, I think this is a person who now has been there and has experience. He is moving at a rapid lightning speed.
Yes, he is.
Joe Biden didn't do in all 4 years of office.
I'm start calling him the Flash.
President Trump has already been able to accomplish just in the first few weeks. I think this is a person who is motivated and has a very
Donald Trump is our first speedster president. You've heard it first here.
clear priority list, and he's going to get it all done and get it done quickly.
All right, checking a lot of boxes. Good to see you, Governor. So everybody,
thanks.
Hello from Waters.
All right. Oh, no. Oh, no. My screen recording stopped. Oh, good Lord. Whatever. It is what it is. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think, though. If you enjoyed my thoughts on this, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo! Oh, Lord! Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.